So, what it do to everybody? So, yeah, I got another episode for y'all. So, my love life and career is in a parallel universe. And, yeah, so let's get into it. So, I remember Alex was, she went to the hospital to visit, you know, Tayana. So, Tiana, she was awoke and everything, but she still was in the hospital. So Alex was like, "Look, I know you want to take me to court and everything." She's like, "You can relax. I'm not taking you to court." She's like, "Did David talk to you?" She's like, "He talked to me, but all that's gonna take too much. Going to court every day and you know, I just ain't got the energy to do that stuff every day. So you off the hook, but we can't be friends." She was like, "And why is that?" She's like, "Because you stole my fucking boyfriend." I mean, she's like, "So you letting him go? You giving him to me? You gonna let us be together?" She's like, "I already told you I'm not letting David go without a fight. I already told you that. So no, I'm not handing him off to you. So if that's what you're actually thinking, no, I'm not handing him off to you." She's like, "So, but you just said that, basically I got him." She was like, "That's not what I said. I said you stole my boyfriend from me, which means that's indicating that y'all two are actually fucking. I mean, if he is having sex with you, if you're pregnant. I mean, I don't even know if that's true or not. If you're pregnant, I don't know if you made that up to just get me upset." She like, "No, I didn't make up a pregnancy to get you upset. I am really pregnant." So she's like, "So David really knocked you up?" She's like, "Yeah." And I mean, why would I make up a damn pregnancy? What am I, a fucking YouTuber? Like, I'm not some damn YouTuber faking a pregnancy just for attention and views. Like, I'm really pregnant. So she's like, "Okay. Knowing you, you probably won't keep the baby." She's like, "I am keeping it. Me and David already talked about it, and yes, I'm definitely keeping it. What about you? You like dancing. There's no way you keeping that fucking baby." So she's like, "Don't worry about what I'm doing. If I keep the baby or if I don't, that'll be between me and David. But as far as us being friends, you already know that's dead. So I don't even, I mean, what, you came here to see if I was taking you to court? Because I know you didn't come here to see if I was okay." She was like, "I mean, I kind of came here to see if you was okay." She's like, "Well, I don't need you to come and check up on me. I'm fine." So she's like, "Okay, I mean, all right, well, I'll leave." She's like, "Yeah, yeah, you can leave." "Okay, so are you leaving? Are you gonna walk the hell out the door? You still kind of like standing in my damn face." So Alex did end up leaving, and I remember, where was I? All right, so I had to pick up Kyla from the airport. Now Kyla, she is a Nickelodeon girl. Like, she played on a lot of Nickelodeon shows. Um, like, well, she played on Disney too. She played on, like, one Disney show, Jessie. She was like the little army girl. Um, but her main character was on Nickelodeon, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn, and she played on like a YouTube series, Crown's Lake, where she was kind of like the mean girl. So yeah, she played in a lot of projects. So me and her did a TV series together, which is definitely coming out. on it's coming out on Max, and it's like it has sex scenes in it. So we definitely did sex scenes, and yeah, you would have thought that we would have started dating then, but it was we just was doing our job and getting it done. And the only reason why I didn't make a move on Kyla is because she is friends with Sky. And around that time I was dating Sky. But I ain't dating her ass no damn more. So yeah, so I picked up Kyla. Kyla, she was coming out of the she was coming out of the airport. She had her bags and she put it in the trunk of my truck or whatever, and she got in the car. So as I'm driving, she's like, pull over at this parking lot. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I want to talk to you. I mean, you can't talk and drive at the same time. I'm like, well, you do know that my car kind of drives itself. I mean, you know that, right? She's like, yeah, I'm aware of that. So I'm like, okay. So I pulled over at this parking lot, and she was like, all right. So look, I don't know where to begin. Like, I don't know, like how I want to say this because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what your reaction is gonna be. Like when I tell you what I'm about to tell you. I think you probably got a fucking clue. But when we was doing the TV series and we got to promote it and do interviews for it before it come out. Um I do like you. Like I wanted to date you. And I could tell that you kind of wanted to date me too, but at the time you and Sky was kind of a thing, and I know y'all not a thing anymore because I called her up and asked her, are y'all still talking? And she was just like, no. Like, she told me that she called you a lot, but you don't answer the phone and you don't like respond back to our text. So basically, she's saying that you don't fuck with her like that. And because you don't fuck with her, I asked her, why don't you fuck with her? She said, because because she does, or she was on a couple of live videos with some YouTubers and stuff, and you don't fuck with that type of shit. So you basically cut her ass off. So she pretty much knows what it is. So I was just like, all right, well, how would you feel if me and David was to date? Then she proceeded to ask me, well, are y'all already dating? And I'm just like, well, no, we're not already dating, but like, what if we was to date? Like, if you see it online, would you get upset about it? Like, would you get mad and stop being my friend? Because me and Scott Jackson like best friends. Like, sometimes we go out of town together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do a lot of stuff together. So it's like, I don't want if this was to happen, I don't want her to be holding this against me. You know what I'm saying? Or be upset at me because she found out about me dating you. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make it clear, like, you're not gonna get mad about this. Like I wanted to make sure. So she was like, well, I mean, if y'all date, it's nothing I really can do. Like if he likes you and if you calling me up, like would you like him or something? You wanna date him? And I was just like, yeah. But I just wanted to make sure you was okay with it. And so, Scott was like, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a level with you. No, I'm not okay with it, but I mean, I'm not gonna stop being your friend over it. Like, if David, wants to date you, then I guess y'all two date. Like, it's nothing I really gonna be able to do about that. Like, at the end of the day, it's all up to whatever David want to do. If David wants to date you, then he'll date you. Like I can't tell him not to fucking date you. I'm not even talking to him. Like he's not even answering my phone calls. So it's like I can't really dictate what happens here. Like if you like him, go for it. See where it goes. Tell him how you feel, whatever. So that's how that conversation went. Now, she was honest. She said she would be bothered by the whole issue of us dating. So it's not like she totally fucking lied in my face and said that she wouldn't be bothered. She did say she would be upset about the shit. But she also said that I should still make my move and see where the whole thing goes. So even though I know this is risky and shit, like this is a risky, thing for me to do, knowing that me and Sky might not be friends after this shit. Like she says that we still will be friends, but I know deep down that she might stop being my friend after this shit. Like I got a strong feeling if we actually start dating, she's not gonna want to be my friend. Like I'm not that fucking stupid, Like I know that like right off the bat. But David, I want us to be a couple. You can't tell me that you don't think about me. Like you don't think about fucking me, or you don't think about taking me out on dates or making love with me all night. You don't think about any of that. You never thought about that. I'm like, no, I definitely thought about it a lot. She's like, okay, and I'm asking you, will you be I was about to say my husband, but I meant to say, will you be my boyfriend? So I'm like, you want me to be your boyfriend. So that means that you will be my girlfriend. She's like, yeah, that's sort of how this thing works. Like, that's how it works. But I mean, I can't be your girlfriend unless you give me an answer. So I'm like, yes, yes, I would love for you to be my girlfriend. So she's like, okay. So she leaned in for a kiss, and I'm kissing her back. And I remember she had on like this short skirt or whatever, and some like legging stockings. And she looked at, I mean, like, if you don't know, Kyla is bad. Like, she's a pretty girl. Like, to me, I think she is really sexy. So I bent her over, and she didn't really say anything. Like, I mean, we established that she is my girlfriend or whatever. So she kind of like looked back at me, and she's like, well, what are you going to do? So I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you just bent me over. So I'm assuming you about to fuck me. So are you gonna have sex with me or not? So I'm like, I mean, yeah, yeah, I am. She's like, okay, so why you not whipping out your dick? So I'm like, wait, you had sex before? It's like, no, I'm a virgin, but I mean, I'm assuming that you're gonna take it easy. You're not gonna just jam it in there, right? I'm like, well, yeah. She's like, okay, are you gonna use a condom? Are you not gonna use a condom? Like, I don't need no surprises, David. Just let me know right now, like, what's going on. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna use a condom. I don't like the way the condoms, feel on my dick. She's like, okay, so you don't like the way condoms feel on your dick. Okay, all right, well, what are you waiting for? So I bent her over, I already had her bent over. So I did end up popping her cherry in the back of my truck, right? So I popped her cherry. I remember Scott Jackson was calling her, right? And then she was calling her, and then she was calling me, and then she would call her, and then she would call me. It was like back and forth, you know, of her calling my phone and then calling Kyla's phone because she knew that I was picking up Kyla from the airport. So I guess Scott knew deep down that Kyla was going to definitely make her move. So yeah, she just kept calling both of our phones, but I was too busy having sex with Kyla. We was going at it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I remember after I was done having sex with Kyla, she kind of was laying on my chest and half naked in her panties and stuff. I kind of like ripped her skirt off, and she was just in her panties. It's like, David, you ripped my skirt. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, my skirt is ripped. I'm like, well, don't you got clothes in them suitcases? She's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, well, can't you put on a different outfit? She's like, do you want me to put on one right now, or do you want me to be like where what like do you want me to stay like this? I'm like, well, right now I want you to stay the way you are. It's like, okay then. So she's like, all right, Scott, keep calling my phone. I can't just like duck this girl. Let me just answer the phone. So I'm like, is she FaceTiming you? She was at first. The first couple of times she was FaceTiming me. Now she just regular calling me now. Let me just answer the phone. So she's like, hello. She was like, you with David? Did David ever come and get you from like the airport? So she's like, yeah, he did. So she was like, I mean, are you with him right now? She's like, yes, I am with my boyfriend right now. She's like, wait, so you actually made your move? She's like, yeah, I actually made my move. And yeah, we're dating. We actually just got finished having sex. She's like, wait, you're not a virgin no more. She's like, nope, not anymore. So she's like, okay, so you and David just had sex. She was like, well, yeah, we just fucked. You said you would be cool with it. So she's like, yeah, I did. But I also said I'd be pissed if it actually went through. She was like, what you mean? She's like, if y'all actually started to date, I told you that I also would be upset about it. She was like, yeah, you did. But you said that it wouldn't mess up our friendship, so we still cool, right? So she like, what do you mean are we still cool? It's like is we still cool? Like I know you're not gonna go back on your word. Like you said that this whole thing with me and David wouldn't jeopardize our friendship. And we still cool, like we still gonna hang out like next weekend and stuff. She was like, I mean, I probably got something to do next weekend. I'm probably gonna have something to do. She was like, and also now you mysteriously busy because the last time I checked, you was all for it. Like we had everything planned and mapped out, and now you got something to do. She's like, it just happened last minute, girl. I mean, I ain't know. I was going to tell you that I was going to pull out. Like I was going to tell you that I couldn't make it. The weekend coming up, we couldn't hang out. So you know, um, you could probably find somebody else to hang out with. She's like, that's okay. I'll just hang out with David. So she's like, okay. Well, can I speak to David? If he's with you, can I like hear his voice? She's like, yeah. I'm gonna call you back, Sky. I'm gonna call you back right now because I'm like naked and we kind of like in the middle of something, and you call and kind of like fucked it up a little bit. She's like, oh, so y'all still having sex? She's like, yes, we I'm pretty sure he's horny again. I mean, I feel his dick getting pretty hard, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to fuck again. So I'm gonna call you back. She's like, yeah, you do that. So I ended up fucking the shit out of Kyla in the back seat. I was turning her ass up. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. And I did. I mean, we did sex scenes in the series. We definitely did intimate sex scenes, but the sex scenes where I had to like fuck her in her ass instead of her pussy because she didn't want her cherry to be popped on camera. So I had to have sex with Kyla in her ass, and it kind of seemed like I was fucking her in her pussy. But I mean, she took it like a champ, and it was kind of like she was losing her virginity. But yeah. So even that was good though. So she was like, David, I need you to take me to she's like, I need you to take me to my mom's and stuff. Like I need to drop my luggage off. I'm like, well, why don't you just stay at my, one of my apartments, because you my girl and I'm gonna want to see you every day. She's like, okay, okay, well, just let me call my mom while we on our way to the apartment, to your apartment. I'm gonna just call her and let her know that there's a change of plans, okay? I'm like, you gonna do that? It's like, I'm about to do it now. So she calls her mom up. It's like, hey, mom. She's like, girl, when am I expecting you? She's like, well, here's the thing. Uh, there's just a couple of things that change. She's like what? She's like, well, I'm not necessarily coming home. She's like, well, what do you mean, Kyla? What are you talking about? You're not coming home. She's like, well, I'm um I'm gonna be staying with my boyfriend. She's like, your boyfriend, and I didn't know you had a boyfriend. Who's your boyfriend? She's like, David. You know, David Sims, the famous actor, pop star. She's like, I know who the hell he is, but I didn't know that y'all two were dating. I just thought y'all was working together. She was like, well, we was, mom, and now I'm his girl. Like, I asked, could we date? Because I've been thinking about it while I was out here filming this movie. And now that I'm done filming the movie and my graduation is coming up, I just thought that I would get things off my chest because I've really been feeling David and I've been thinking about him a lot. And if I didn't tell him how I felt, I would regret it. So I did. I told David how I felt, and he felt the same way. She's like, "Yeah, that's all good and everything, but that don't mean you go live with him. Y'all just started to date. You don't really know what type of person he is." She's like, "Mom, trust me. I know he's not a creep, and I also know he's definitely not a weirdo." She's like, "Well, didn't your best friend Sky used to date David? Wasn't she his girlfriend at one time? She was dating him, right?" She was like, yeah, she was. She was like, so why would you date someone that used to date your best friend? She's like, well, mom, I already talked to Sky about it, okay? I got her permission. It's not like I totally went behind her back. Before I even told David how I felt, I called up Sky and talked to her first. That was the first thing I did. She was like, and what did she say? She was like, she said she was cool with it. She's like, and do you really believe that she's actually okay with this shit? Even if she says she was okay with it, do you think she actually is okay with it? She's like, well, mom, now that I think about it, no. But I didn't already did it. It's no turning back now. And I'm not breaking up with David to satisfy Scott Jackson feelings. Like, no. She wouldn't do that shit for me. So it's like, why in the fuck do I gotta sit there and that girl is a grown ass woman. She's about to be what 21 years old? I'm not gonna sit there and we not little kids no more. Like, she needs to get over it. She's not his girlfriend no more. So it's like, it's my time now. It's my turn. So she's like, yeah, but y'all are best friends. She's like, mom, if she let this get between our friendship, then that's her fault. Then that means that she can't be mature about this shit. She's like, would you be mature about this? If the shoe was on the other foot, would you be mature about it? She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, if you were dating David and then y'all was no longer together and Sky came into the picture and she started dating David, would you be mature about it and still be her damn friend? She was like, yes, I would. Yes, she's like, no, you wouldn't, because you are stubborn. So there's no way that you would be okay with that whole situation. She's like, Mom, we are both adults here. It is no way that she should let this come between our friendship. If she does that, then that is just her. That is all on her. Okay, I called her, and if she truly had some disagreements about it, she should have just said this shit on the damn phone. She should have really let her feelings out on the phone, but she did not. I don't care if she was putting on the front acting like, oh, she's okay with it, but deep down she's not. She said she was okay with it. She told me that I could make my move, so that's what I fucking did. So if she's upset with that or if she stopped being my damn friend because of it, like I said, then that is all on her. That is not on me. So she's like, so you willing to lose your friendship over this? Like, mom, I'm not breaking up with David. So if that's what you think that I'm going to do, you think that I'm going to break up with David, I'm not doing that. That's definitely a dead situation. I'm not doing that. So I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that. Anyway, I gotta go, mom. I just called you to let you know that I won't be coming home tonight. So she hung up the phone and she's like, oh, David, I wanted to ask you. My graduation is coming up, and I was wondering if you would come to my graduation. I'm like, oh, you about to graduate, huh? It's like, yes. I'm like, okay. And then after you graduate, then what? It's like, then you can do whatever you want with me. I'm like what? It's like, fuck me all day, fuck me all night. I'm like, okay, I like the sound of that. She's like, and I don't gotta finish the movie. I'm done filming that movie, and now I'm all yours. We can do whatever you want. Go on dates, have sex all day, whatever you want, David. Look, I'm your girl, so whatever you want to do with me, I'm up for it. I'm like, you are. It's like, yeah, of course I am. So I remember Sky Jackson calls back Kyla. So she's like, oh my God. I'm like, baby, I'm about to take you to the apartment. Do you want to get some food? She's like, yes, I wanted like a pepperoni pizza and some chicken, some buffalo chicken. And can we get like a big soda with a whole bunch of ice? I can't eat nothing without a big soda and ice. So I'm like, yeah, we can do that. So I remember, Kyla answered the phone. She like, hello. She's like, is this Kyla? She's like, yeah, Sky, what the hell you do that dramatic ass parse for? What's going on? Look, I told you I would call you back. Is everything cool? She was like, look, I lied. Okay, it's getting to me. Okay, look, I can't. I don't want you with David. Break up with him. She's like, what? No, I'm not breaking up with him. So she's like, look, I'm sorry that you feel the way you feel, but I'm not breaking up with David. I'm his girl now. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And I did the right thing. I came to you first. So she's like, so if I would have told you how I really felt, would you would have made your moves? Like, no, I probably would have just kept my feelings to myself because you told me how you really felt. But since you act like you was okay with it, that's your fault. Now me and David are together because you said that you wouldn't get mad about it. She's like, no, I didn't. I did say that I would get upset about it. I told you that I would be on my feelings. She's like, okay, whatever. But I'm not breaking up with David. She's like, look, I'm gonna be real with you, Kyla. I ain't gonna want to hang out with you until you and David are not a fucking thing. Okay, knowing that y'all are a thing is gonna be killing me when we hang out. So I'm just letting you know that I don't think that it's gonna be best if we hang out anymore until you and David are not a thing. She's like, so you wishing that we not a couple? She's like, whenever y'all fucking break up, y'all just got together, so I don't know when y'all gonna break up. She's like, well, we're gonna be together for a long time. So she's like, yeah. It's like, well, okay, whatever. She's like, look, if I end up pregnant or something, don't get mad at me, okay? It's like, look, I'm already pissed off at you. It's like, for what? Because I told you that I like them. So you asked me that I like David, and I fucking told you that I did. I don't get, you know what? Whatever. So she hung up the phone, and all I remember is I'm like, all right, well, we going to the pizza spot. I already called it in. She's like, you did? I'm like, yeah, I already called it in. She's like, good. So we got the food. We go back to one of my apartments, and now I just remember I'm like, I'll be right back. I gotta get some out of my car. She's like, okay. So the girl Alex called my phone, and she's like, hey baby. I'm like, who is this? She's like, your girlfriend Alex. I'm like, oh, it's like you forgot that I was your girlfriend that fast. You don't know my voice. I'm like, no, I do know your voice, baby. Of course I do. She's like, I miss you. Where are you? I'm like, I'm just making some runs and everything. She's like, well, you haven't been fucking me all day. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? She's like, it's supposed to mean what it's supposed to mean. I'm like, and what is that? It's like, you haven't been having sex with me like you normally do. I'm like, okay, and you're saying it's like I'm saying that I'm horny. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I remember I'm like, well, I'll be there in like an hour or two. She's like, why an hour or two? I'm like, I will, I promise. So she's like, all right, okay. So I get off the phone with her. As soon as I get off the phone with Alex, she sends me pictures of like her body, like her, in her bikini and with her titties out and stuff. Girls know that I like that stuff. Once a girl know what I like, they do that so I go to them faster or come to them faster. But anyway, she sends me nude photos right away, and I know what she's doing. She wants me to get there quicker. So I'm looking at the photos. I'm like, well, damn, she is thick as hell. I can't even lie. So I'm like, damn, she is thick. So I go back in there with Kyla, and she's like, baby, this pizza is so good. I'm like, it is. Like, yeah. So after I eat, what do you want to do after I eat? So I'm like, I want to beat it up again. It's like, okay. So she's like, I mean, you can fuck me now. I'm like, you sure? It's like, I mean, I already ate like 2 slices of pizza. I'm good. I mean, you want to fuck now? I'm like, yeah. It's like, okay. So she bent over, cause she know I like it doggy style. So she bent over, and then I ended up pretty much beating it up while she was bent over the couch or whatever. I was turned it up, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. And that time she kind of tried to run from it because I was like pounding on it pretty hard. But after a while, once I pinned her down and started really beating it up, she couldn't really do anything. She was just taking it after a while, just taking me beating it up or whatever. But she's like, I like when you talk dirty to me when you fuck me. I'm like, you like that? It's like, yeah. What girls don't like? The other girls that you have sex with, they don't like when you talk dirty to them. I'm like, oh no, they like it. She's like, they do. It's like, look, I wanted to talk to you about that. Look, I know you gotta reproduce and all this shit, and I know you're not a regular person, but I really, really like you. I'm like, I know I really like you too, baby. She's like, and I keep thinking about you, and I want us to be serious, like exclusive. I want people to know that you're my man. I'm like, oh, you do? You want them to know that? It's like, yes, David, I want them to know that. So I'm like, and well, how we gonna get them to know that I'm your man? How are we gonna do that? She's like, well, I got an idea. I'm like, and what's your idea? She's like, I have an idea. I'm like, okay, so what's your brilliant idea? It's like, well, I didn't say it was a brilliant idea, but it is an idea. I'm like, so what is it? So she goes live on her TikTok, right? And I'm kissing on her, and she's like, we can't do too much on here, or they have fucking either ban my account or suspend that shit. So we can't get too sexual on here. So I'm like, okay, all right. She's like, but I think they get the picture. So she's like, yes, me and David are dating, and I see a lot of comments under here talking about Scott Jackson used to date David. I'm a bad friend. I'm not even gonna act like I didn't see these comments. I'm gonna actually address this shit, cause I'm only gonna address this one time, cause I'm not gonna keep getting on here addressing the same shit. So I'm only gonna talk about this one time, and that is just it. Um, I went to Scott Jackson. I'm gonna just say her whole name. I went to Scott Jackson and asked her for her approval. She gave me her fucking approval. Okay, it's not like I went behind her back and went after David and then she found out this fucking way, like through social media, that me and David are dating. That's not how she found out. I went to her first, and she said, "Hey, well, go ahead and make your move. Go ahead and make your move, cause me and David, we ain't talking. He pretty much cut me off. Da 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 da." So now she's telling me that she's not comfortable with it after I done already did everything she told me that I could do. She told me that I could make my move. She told me that I could tell David how I felt, and I did. So now she double back in, saying, "Oh well, I need you to break up with David because I still got feelings for him." And that ain't how things work. I'm not breaking up with no damn David. to fucking soothe that girl feelings. She is almost 21 years old. She's probably already 21 years old. She's a grown ass woman. I am not going to sit there and try to like soothe that girl feelings. So it's like, if she's mad about it, and then she says she's not going to want to be my friend if me and David are still dating. So if y'all want to know some tea, me and Sky are not friends any fucking more. Because she couldn't be totally honest about the shit. Now, had she was honest about everything, this whole situation wouldn't occurred. I probably would have just kept my feelings to myself and then got in the car with David and let him take me to my mom's. But that was just it. But since she said that I could make my move, well, this is where we at right now. David is my boyfriend. I am his girl. And yes, we are fucking. And I don't even care if TikTok banned my account. I don't really post shit on here anyway. Yes, me and David are fucking. Yeah, exclusively fucking. So, like, y'all can call me a bad friend all y'all want to. You can call me whatever you want. But I came to Sky as a real friend before I came to David and told David that I liked him. I came to Sky first. I asked her about all this shit first before I even stepped to David and told him that I liked him. So you can call me a bad friend, but a bad friend would not go to the friend and ask her for her approval. So, well, okay. I mean, I get what y'all saying. Okay, so yeah, Sky Jackson. First of all, you know, I don't even think David was really exclusive with Sky because he hardly went out on dates with that girl. I mean, I did know he was having sex with her and stuff in that way, but I ain't never seen him like really take her out in public. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think he was that exclusive with Sky. You know what I'm saying? So y'all making it seem like they was in a long ass relationship for years. They only they only was dating for like maybe a month or maybe even 2 months. So what the fuck do I owe Sky? I don't owe her shit. So it's not like she was in a relationship with him for years and on top of fucking years. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are really pissing me off with this shit because y'all be saying dumb shit that don't even make any sense. What the fuck do I need to be loyal to? They wasn't really exclusive. Nobody on the blogs was talking about them dating because David never took her ass out in public. So, you know what? I don't even gotta explain myself because this is dumb and bullshit. So she get off the live or whatever, and I started kissing on her. I bent her over and started beating it up from the back. I was turning her ass up, boy. It was so good. I was talking dirty to her because everybody know I love talking dirty. Like that's just my thing. So Tayona, she calls my phone and I went to the car to grab something and she's like, "Hey baby, I'm still in the hospital." I'm like, "Hey Tayona, I miss you, girl." It's like, "I miss you too. We not breaking up, are we?" "I don't want to break up." I'm like, "You don't?" It's like, "No, of course not." I'm like, "Okay." It's like, "Look, I know. I mean, I kind of had a feeling you was gonna fuck one of the twins. I knew something like that was gonna happen. That's my dumbass fault for bringing them around. But I'm not gonna hold you accountable for that. I mean, you're a big celebrity. What girl is not gonna let you fuck? Like let's just be real. And I don't want to lose you over this shit. Like I want to keep the babies. I want us to start a family together, which we obviously are. But I can't do it alone. I want your support." I'm like, "So you really gonna keep the babies?" Like, yeah. I mean, it's gonna call for some maintenance because I love dancing and doing other shit. But I mean, I can do things differently. I'm like, "You sure?" It's like, yeah. I mean, I can do things differently as long as you with me. I can manage. I'm like, "You sure?" It's like, "Stop asking me, am I sure, David?" "Yes, I'm sure I can manage." So I'm like, "Okay, all right. Do you want me to pick you up from the hospital?" She's like, I don't get out until tomorrow morning. So could you pick me up tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah, I can pick you up then. She's like, all right, well, I can't wait to see you. I'm like, have you ever got fucked in the hospital? It's like, are you asking me that you want to fuck me in the hospital? I'm like, she's like, David, if you want to fuck me in the hospital, well, just come and fuck me. I'm like, you'll let me beat it up. It's like, David, I'm not on my damn deathbed. If you want to get in your girlfriend pussy, then come and fuck me. I'm not going to stop you. I'm like, you going to let me beat it up? It's like, David, I just said yes. Do you want some pussy or not? So I'm like, yeah, it's like, then come to the hospital and get some. So I'm like, you going to let me get it, huh? It's like, yes, David, if you keep on asking me, the answer gonna be no. Do you want the answer to change? I'm like, no. It's like, then come your ass to the hospital and get in this shit. So I'm like, okay. It's like, all right. So I hang up the phone with Tayana. Now, I still do like Tayana. I mean, I've really got feelings for Tayana. She is beautiful. She's pretty. She's sexy. And, I mean, it don't hurt that she definitely got an ass on her. But, I mean, Alex do too. I mean, Alex got she bad and thick as hell too, but I mean, like, and really pretty. So, I just don't want to come between a friendship. But I don't know. I guess that ship sailed. So anyway, I go back in there with Kyla, and I just remember, Kyla was like, "Baby, I'm horny again. I don't know why I'm so wet now." I'm like, "What?" She's like, I guess I think you programming me to be freaky." I'm like, "Why you say that?" It's like because you talk really dirty and aggressive when you fucking me, and I don't know. I guess I'm getting used to it now. Like I'm getting like I don't know, like I'm automatically want you to fuck me again. I'm like, "Oh, you do?" Say, "Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm getting programmed or something." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we did end up having sex, and this time she was riding me and everything. I mean, oh yeah, she was definitely doing it real good too. So I told her I was happy that she, told me how she felt and everything. She's like, I always liked you, David. I'm like, you did? She's like, yeah. I just didn't know if I should have said anything because I didn't know like how serious you was with Sky at the time. So I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, but why didn't you make a move? I'm like, well, say, I mean, you was already fucking me in my ass in the show. You had your dick in my asshole, so it's not like you didn't kind of feel the pussy out. Even though an asshole is not actually pussy, but you still basically fucked me. I'm like, I mean, yeah, true. She's like, but so how come you didn't tell me that you like me? I'm like, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, you was friends with Sky, and I guess you would tell her that I was trying to get at you. She's like, no. I would have said, let's do it. I'm like, you would have said yes. She's like, yeah, I would have said, yeah, let's do it. Let's date. I wouldn't have said nothing to Scott. I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, I would have actually said, yeah, let's do it. I mean, you wouldn't have known unless you actually asked me out on a date. I'm like, and plus I thought you had a boyfriend, and I don't know. I just a lot of thoughts came through my head. That's why I never really try to make my move on you. So like, well, you making your move now. So I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm definitely making my move now. So me and Kyla definitely got it in. Um, I got on my laptop and I'm like looking at, people, my fans' response about the whole thing with me and Kyla, right? So this girl, it was a lot of girls going live on my website, and she goes live on there, and she's like, okay, so David is dating that Nickelodeon girl, Kyla Drew. For y'all that don't know who the hell she is, let me give y'all a description of who the hell Kyla Drew is. Kyla Drew is the girl from this show right here. And then she played as she got a little older. Then matter of fact, hold on, let me just start that shit off. She played on Jessie when she was this age. So she was definitely like a baby then. She was on a Jessie episode where she had a mother that was in the army and shit like that. This is when she was like a baby. Now, this is when she was kind of a little older. She was on Nickelodeon. She was on this show, kind of like she was like the white girl best friend or whatever. But she was a little bit older in this show, right? And she got older throughout the seasons, right? So this is her playing on that YouTube series Crown's Lake. And she's definitely like a teenager. She's probably like 17, around like 16, 17 or something like that. She's definitely not a little girl no more. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep real. She got a body on her. She definitely got a nice little toned up body. And but dude, I think she's pretty because I see a lot of y'all are saying she ugly as hell, and I hear y'all saying that shit. A lot of y'all saying, and everybody is entitled to their opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna, like I can't tell a person how to think. I can't tell a person what to say out their mouth. They gonna say that shit whether if I say it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm hearing a lot of y'all saying that she ugly as shit. And I'm not gonna lie to you. She is ugly. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. And there's a lot of other girls that feel that way too. But she thick though. She pretty. She has a pretty body. You know, her pretty body makes up for her ugly face. And it's not all about looks. When you're in a relationship with somebody, it's not all about looks. Now, to me, I think the reason why David is dating her because she is thick and has a nice little body. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes up for her being ugly as hell. And she actually kind of, famous. She been on TV and stuff. And I heard they did a TV series together. So, and that's coming out like in June, like around June. So, I mean, like if David like her, if he like her, I can't say anything about that. All I know is that girl ugly as hell. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's my opinion. I mean, she ugly, but she can dress. She can dress. She got a nice toned up body, but that's it. Like that's it. Like that's just how I feel. Like I feel like David's only with her because of her body. And that's how I feel about that shit. I don't got too much to say about it because I mean if that's his girl, that's his girl. But so Kyla like, David, do you think I'm ugly? I'm like, no, Kyla, of course not. Why are you? See, my fans would get in anybody's head, but no, I don't think you ugly. You're the prettiest girl to me. It's like, do you really think I'm pretty? I'm like, you're really pretty. You're pretty and thick, and I mean, I love that you got a body. It's like, so you're not just saying that because I'm your girl. I'm like, no, I always thought you was really pretty. So we start kissing. I did end up beating it up again or whatever. And all the times that we had sex, I did come in her pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I nutted in her extremely hard as hell. So I always told my girls to put, well, I ain't had to tell her. She just put on some pajamas. She took a shower, put on some pajamas. I did have sex with her in the shower. And then she put her night clothes on. Now, I made sure I locked up, made sure everything was safe for, Kyla before I actually left. Now, I left, I went straight to Tayana. And she was in the hospital bed and stuff looking at TV. She's like, hey. It's like, I almost thought you wasn't going to come. It's like, wait, you got to shut that door if you're going to, like, really get up in this pussy. So I shut the door. She's like, can you lock it? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, see if you can lock the door, because them nurses just be walking in here. So I'm like, I don't know if I can lock it. I don't see no lock on it. She's like, wait, let me see. So she get up. She's like, all right, I just locked it. I'm like, how you lock it? It's like, I don't know. It was a lock right there. So I remember we kissing. I did end up like, you know, putting my dick in her, and we going at it in the hospital bed, and she's moaning and stuff. Now, the hospital rooms are not soundproof, so it's like you can hear somebody moaning. So she was moaning pretty loud. The nurses come and they look in and they see that the lights is cut off, but the TV's on in the hospital room, and they hear her moaning. So the other nurse walked up to the nurse that was like looking inside the room. She was like, what's going on in there? She's like, well, David, that's her boyfriend. he just walked in there. I think they fucking. She was like, he's fucking her while she's in the hospital bed. So she's like, I mean, she ain't on her deathbed. I mean, she just got a Grady shot in her shoulder. She's like, yeah, but he's actually fucking her in the hospital. So she's like, I mean, like, she's still young. The girl ain't old. I mean, get that dick. So she's like, wow. I mean, damn, she is really loud. So I was turning her ass up. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. So I remember when I came in there, she was telling me after I was done that she ain't even tell her mom that she was pregnant. So she ain't tell her family and stuff. She didn't tell them that she was knocked up. I'm like, you ain't tell them that she was pregnant? She's like, I mean, I wanted to tell them, but I ain't tell them yet. I am going to tell them once I get out of here. I'm like, okay, you think you should tell? She's like, I am going to tell them. Once I get the hell out of here, I am going to tell them. That's going to be probably like the first thing I do. So I'm like, okay. So I remember we did end up having sex again, which remind y'all, for some reason in the hospital, it was really good. Even though when I have sex with Tayana, it's really good. She don't even got to be in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying something about her being in the hospital. It was just really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Then after we was done, we talked a lot. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, hold on. So I just remember that, yeah, it's just something about, you know, hospital sex. But after we was done having sex, she was just like, look, David, I'm not Alex's friend no more. I'm like, you're not her friend no more. She's like, no, I'm not her damn friend. Look, David, she knew exactly how I felt. She knew that I really, really liked you. And she went after you anyway. You know, like, what type of friend does that shit? I don't know what type of friend does that to you. So I'm like, I mean, no, I mean, I don't know a friend that would do that. It's like, yeah, so yeah, I'm not her damn friend no more. Like, no, that shit, like, I'm not feeling that at all. I'm like, okay, it's like, yeah, so it's like she goes behind my back and try to steal my man and stuff, and then let you impregnate her. Like, yeah, we're definitely not on speaking terms. Like, no, she came here this morning, seeing if I was still going to take her to court and all that. And I told her she was off the hook. But it's like, you ain't had to come here to ask me that. You could have got your twin sister to come here and ask me that. I ain't even want to see her. I'm like, but if you see her twin sister, it's kind of like you looking at her, though. She's like, yeah, whatever. So we did end up having sex again. And then I went to go see Tia. So Scott Jackson's mother was over at Tia's house, the girl from Sister Sister. So she was like, David, I'm so happy that we actually did this. I'm like, you are? She's like, yeah. I mean, I really do like you, and I know you like me, especially having sex with me. You love that part. I'm like, I love beating the pussy up. It's like, oh, I definitely know that. So I'm like, you know that I love getting up. And she's like, I know, David, I know you like getting up in the pussy. So I remember me and Tia from Sister Sister, we did end up having sex. And I'm not going to lie, it was thoroughly incredible. So Tia did end up going to sleep, right? She ended up falling asleep. Her daughter was kind of already asleep. It was dark time. And so I call her Miss Cole, but some people call her Nicole and stuff like that, but I call her Miss Cole. So I'm like, hey, Miss Cole. She's like, hey, David, you still ducking and dodging my daughter? I'm like, you drinking on some wine? She's like, yeah, it's wine. It's white wine. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, so Tia, she sleep. I heard y'all having sex. She was really loud in that room. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, you need to take it easy on that girl. She ain't the same age as you. You can break that girl back. So I'm like, okay. I try to take it easy on Tia. So she's like, so you still ducking and dodging my daughter, not answering her phone calls and stuff? I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? She's like, David, I made it clear what it means. I mean, like, you're not answering her phone calls and nothing. I'm like, can I talk to you in my truck? She's like, why in your truck? I'm like, because I just want to talk to you. So she's like, I mean, you could just talk to me right here. I mean, we already talking. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, I could just talk to you right here, but I kind of, want to talk to you in my truck. She's like, is it important? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, what you got to talk to me in your truck about? Is it important? So I'm like, yes, yeah, Miss Cole, it is. She's like, okay. So she gets in my truck and she's like, so what's going on? I'm like, I know you married. I see that wedding ring on your finger. She's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, look, I ain't gonna lie. I've been attracted to you a lot. I've been having a lot of wet dreams about you, like having sex with you and stuff. She's like, you wanna fuck me? I'm like, yeah. She's like, but you fucked my daughter, so like, and you dated her. What if she finds out about if we were to do something like this? Let's say that I'm the slight interested, or let's just say that I am interested in what you're saying. How would we go about it? I'm like, well, I would start to kiss you. It's like, and then what else? I'm like, I would then start off with playing with the pussy and see where it goes from there. So she's like, okay. I mean, the wine must be talking. If you're going to do something, do it now. If you're going to convince me that we should do this, then come on. I mean, you got a shot. We're in the back seat of your truck. There's no one stopping us. Come on. So we start kissing or whatever, and she did kind of had on. She had on like some jeans or whatever. No, she had on some sweatpants, and so I took her sweatpants off, and I just got up in that pussy. Deep. I was deep in there though, and it was really, really good. I'm not even gonna lie. It was really good, and we went at it for like hours, going at it. She kept coming and squirting and stuff, and I kept busting in her and kept going. It was just a lot of sex in the back of that truck. It was so good. So I remember I'm like, look, where do Sky still stay with you? She's like, I mean, yeah, but I don't think she home. Okay, we can go back to my place. I'm like, yeah, I want to finish beating that pussy. I was like, but wait, what if my daughter hear you fucking me? I'm like, wait, is your husband there? It's like, um, no, we staying in a hotel and my husband is not here in this state. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So we go to the hotel where, Miss Cole and Sky, staying at. So we go in and she's like, Sky not back yet. She must be still out. So we go in the room, like y'all don't share like an actual room together. It's like, no, she got her own room. So I'm like, what you mean? She's like, you see how big this room is? Like she has her own space. She doesn't, like I give her privacy, she gives me mine. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So I remember we were having some sex. I'm like, definitely turn her ass up. But luckily, we were done having sex as soon as Scott Jackson pretty much walked through the door. She like as I was like busting my nut, Scott Jackson was like walking through the door, which was perfect timing. So Scott was calling her mother. She was like, Mom, I need to talk to you. Mom, I know you here. So it's like, oh, David, I gotta go out there. I'm like, but I want to finish beating it up. I'm not done. She's like, I know, and I want you to keep fucking me. I'm like, you do? He's like, yeah, David, I do. So I remember she goes out there. She's like, I'm gonna be brief with her. So she comes up. She's like, Mom, why are you dressed like that? She's like what? She's like, where's your bra? It's like, oh, let me go put my bra on. So she put her bra on and stuff. She's like, is somebody in here? She's like, no, no. What is it, girl? What do you want to talk about? She's like, David is dating my best friend Kyla. She's like, oh, he is? Girl, I mean, yeah, but you shouldn't let that come between your friendship. She's like, Mom, she knew goddamn well that I was in love with David. And she still, even though I told her she could make her move, she did it. She did it anyway. She's like, yeah, but you told her to make the move, so she did what you told her. She's like, Mom, she could have read between the lines. She could have read between the lines and knew that I meant to not try to holler at David. She could have. She's like, but what if she really thought that you meant that she could make a move? So she's like, Mom, what is she that fucking stupid? I mean, like anybody with common sense would know that I actually didn't mean that she could make a fucking move. Anybody with common sense could have known that. So she's like, okay, look, I'm kind of tired, Scott, so I'll talk to you about this in the morning. She's like, okay. So she come back in the room like, yeah, come here, bend that ass over. She's like, David, I can't be loud. Wait. She's like, let me turn this TV on. Okay, shit. So I start beating it up from the back. I'm like, God damn, girl. It's like, David, oh, you shit. I'm like, say I'm fucking Scott Jackson mother. It's like, you fucking Scott Jackson mother. David, David, don't bust at me. Don't bust. David, don't make a baby. So I'm beating it up or whatever. I ended up busting in her. And I came in her anyway. And she didn't really care if I came in her. She was just saying that to talk dirty or whatever. But she's like, okay, the sex is fun, but like, what's going on here, David? Do you want me to be your girlfriend or something? I'm like, yeah. It's like, but how am I gonna hide this from my daughter? How are we gonna do this? I'm like, I want you. It's like, and I want you too, but what if I get pregnant? I'm not gonna be able to hide that from her. I'm like, it's like you keep your nuts are really huge when it comes. Like when you release in a girl, it is very strong and impactful. So it's like, what if I get pregnant again? Like I'm not gonna be able to hide that from her. I'm like, okay, so you tell her you're pregnant. It's like, David, she's going to know it's not my husband. She's gonna know that right off the bat. She's gonna know it's somebody else's. So what do I tell her? When the baby comes out looking like you, what am I gonna say? Oh, it's a coincidence that it looked like David, that it looked like your ex-boyfriend. Like, what do I tell her? I'm like, look, I want you to stay at one of my apartments. I just want you close so I could be able to beat it up whenever I want it. She's like, but I like, well, all right, okay. I'm like, you gonna stay back? She's like, I said okay, so yes, I'm gonna stay back. So I'm like, now bend that ass over. It's like, David. I'm like, look, this my pussy now. You hear me? That's my shit. It's like, it's your shit, David. So I'm beating it up or whatever. And I'm like, say it's my pussy. It's like, it's your pussy. I'm like, say it's not your husband's no more. It's like, it's not my husband's no more. I'm like, say it's not your husband's no more. It's like, it's not my husband's no more. It's your pussy. I'm like, say it. It's like, it's not my husband's no more. It's your pussy. Oh, this pussy. So I'm beating it up or whatever. And it was really good. Then her husband ended up calling her. So her husband called her. She answered the phone. She was like, "Hello, hey, look, I'm kind of tired." So he's like, "Look, I've been waiting all day to talk to you, girls. I just wanted to know like how your day went and stuff." So, look, only got like one more, what, like 3 or 4 days before you come home. You and Sky. So she's like, I'm not coming home for a little while. I got a business gig and I'm gonna have to stay out here a little longer. So he like, how long are we talking? It's like a few months. So he's like, a few months. Like, yeah, I mean, this is a very, very big deal. It's gonna take a little while for everything to close, but they need me on board. I can't just not be around for it. So he like, so do you want me to come down and support? She's like, no, 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 I don't want you to come down. I told you, Scott, I'd be there, but I'm staying back, for a little while and take care of this business. Look, I'll be home in like 2 or 3 months, okay? I know it seems crazy. I know it seems wild, but I got things that I have to do out here, and I'm closing a lot of deals now. And I need to stay out here and make sure that it's like thoroughly closed. If I just go back home and not make sure everything is running good, then where's the money coming from? So he like, you know what? You don't gotta sell me. Okay, if you say you're gonna, be out there working, I believe you. So she like, all right, look, well, I gotta get some rest, so I'll call you, in the morning. So I'm beating it up. I'm like, you ain't calling him in no damn morning. It's like, I'm not, David. I'm like, say you call him in the morning. It's like, I'm not calling him in the morning. I'm not calling him, baby. I promise. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to come again. It's like, ah. So I came in her really hard, and it was so good. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I always wanted to have sex with Sky Mother. It was always a fantasy to have sex with her. And yeah, now it's happening. So she's like, oh, David, I'm not gonna call him. I promise. I'm like, you promise? Like, yes. I'm gonna just tell him I forgot or something. Okay, well, take me to one of your apartments. So I take Sky Jackson's mother to one of my apartments. She had packed up her clothes, and Sky called her up. She's like, Mom, where are you? She's like, I left. I got, some business that I have to take care of, and I just had to leave. It's like, you took all of your clothes with you? Like, what the hell am I going to do with this big ass hotel room? She's like, I guess stay in it. Do whatever you want. It's like, what is going on? Why are you being so secretive? She's like, I'm not. Like, Scott, I have to go, okay? I'll talk to you in a few days. But I'm staying out here for a few months. She's like, did you say a few months? She's like, yeah. I'll be out here for like 3 months. But you can go back home and everything. She's like, so you're not leaving with me? She's like, no, I'm not. So she got out the phone. Me and her started having sex, like crazy wild sex. I was turning her ass up, boy, I ain't gonna lie. And then she kind of like fell asleep. So I went to Alex, and Alex was like, well, she opened up the door. Alex opened up the door, and she was like, David, where the hell was you? I was waiting for you. I did not think you was gonna come. So I'm like, well, I'm here, ain't I? She's like, you're here now. I didn't think your ass was gonna actually show the hell up. Like, I was waiting for you and waiting for you, and I had on something cute too. I'm like, well, where is it at? It's like, I put on my night clothes because I didn't think you was gonna come. Like, what happened? I'm like, oh, I was, talking to Tayana. It's like, oh, so she kind of took your, oh, okay, I see why you was late. Okay, so how is Tayana? I'm like, she's cool. She's getting discharged with tomorrow morning. She wanted me to pick her up. She's like, David, I don't want to talk about her. I want to have sex. I'm like, you do? She's like, yes. So she took off her clothes, and then we start going at it, which was really good, by the way. Now, Alex is, she's one of, well, I don't know. No, she's not Tayana's friend no more. They're not friends. But I think that Tayana is still friends with the other twin. The other one that, yeah, I think they're still friends, but she's just not friends with Alex. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna leave the story at me being with Alex and making love to her, and I'm gonna start the story here. But I hope that everybody enjoyed the episode of me hollering at y'all, talking to y'all and thugging and clutching at the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna leave that off at. Now I started to not get on here and talk to y'all, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna get on here and holler at y'all. So that's what I did. Got on here and I faced my fears. No, I'm fucking with y'all, but I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.